Let us chant Om 3 times together. Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Gurave Namaha. I bow to God. I bow to all the divine incarnations. I bow to all the masters, saints, and sages of all times and all places. I bow to Sri Lahidi Mahasaya today, a special day, remembering him more. I bow to my beloved Gurudev. I bow to all of you and the entire creation. Om, Amen. It is by the grace of God and Sri Gurudev we have assembled here to commemorate the 50th year of Sri Gurudev's coming to West, and at the same time, the 7th anniversary of this Ashram Temple of Compassion in Texas, USA. And today is the last day and the closing ceremony, closing program. So, today is a special day. According to the Vedic calendar, lunar calendar, today is the birthday of Lord Vamana, whom the Hindus consider as an incarnation of Lord Vishnu. Vamana Avatar. Today is Vamana Dvadasi. And in English calendar today is dedicated to Sri Lahidi Mahasaya because of his Mahasamadhi Day. Mahasamadhi Day. Today I got a very shocking and sad news. A very loving, humble, sweet, really beautiful disciple, young, a doctor in India, in Odisha, and who went back to God very early. He was supposed to get married next year in the beginning. So, praying for him. Life is, it has, although life is eternal, because God is eternal, the soul is eternal, so life is eternal. But life as an embodied being or individual has finite life. For example, as an individual, with a name and form. We are born one day and we have to leave the body one day. And who knows when. The problem is we forget that we have to leave the body and we think that we live forever. Our thinking, our attitude, our behavior. In the Mahabharata, there is a small section. It is popularly known as Yaksa Prasna, the question of a celestial to King Yudhishthira. He asked, what is the most amazing in the world? Yudhishthira said, every moment people die, we hear the death news, and we know people are dying. Every living being dying. But the remaining ones, they think they will not die. This is the most amazing thing. Doctors see more the death of people than others. Still, then the mind is not towards. So, and forget about others. Let us think of ourselves, our attitude, our words, our behavior, our thinking. Do we know that next moment the breath will stop? The next moment. If breath can stop at any moment, so where are we? Where is our mind? However, today's is the question and answer. The light is very nice. So, Baba always tells us to intensify sadhana. What does this mean? How to do it? You know your nature. You know your thinking, your speaking, your conduct, your behavior. And unfortunately, many times we think that I'm right. It is also another, because of ego, we do not realize where I do the mistake. Often, as I told you yesterday, the story of two brothers, even having such higher level of spiritual experience, realization, still then in their dialogue, they committed mistake. And what about we? That is why Sri Yukteswarji told, human conduct is ever unreliable until one's mind is completely anchored in God. Is our mind completely anchored in God? If the answer is no, then our conduct is unreliable. We look at the mistakes of others. He did this, she did this, he's doing this, she's doing this. We don't look at our own faults, own mistakes, because in Odia there is a proverb. Chaluni kahuchi chunchi to dehere gotai kona. The meaning is, stainer of the sheep, how to say? Sheep. So there is a dialogue between the needle and the sheep. And the sheep is telling, oh, needle, you have one hole in you. Because there is a loop in the, and the sheep itself forgets that I have thousands of holes. And that is what each person, all of us, we look at the mistake of others. We forget about that I have so much mistakes. To intensify sadhana is to make our sadhana 24 hours. Again and again and again and again, to try. Okay, we'll fail. We forget. Again, I will try. Again, I will try. The result of intense sadhana, Abhyavruta Bhajanat, Bhakti Sutra, continuous remembrance. Continuous. So, how do I increase my desire for liberation? Good company, good books, and observing the nature, looking at the sufferings. This is good company will help you. For example, come for satsang, spiritual discourse, company of holy people, good company, good books, and looking at the nature, seeing suffering. How long after death is it before you enter the next body? Somebody asked Gurudev about next life. Gurudev said beautifully, wait, when I will die, if I come back, I'll tell you. Why you are worried about that? Be worried. If you are to be worried or curious to know how I'm spending this life, how long it will take, it doesn't matter. What life you are going to get, a dog life or donkey life. So don't worry about that. Is rice okay to eat? Why? I hear it has stars high. Can you explain? We need the major combination in food: carbohydrate, protein, and some fat, along with minerals and vitamins. So carbohydrate, the major source of carbohydrate is rice, wheat, any cereal, any grain, it is needed, but in moderation. So rice is nothing wrong. I don't think so. Do you know, I grew up in rice land. The breakfast was rice, lunch was rice, dinner was rice, everything is rice, I'm nice. Everything in moderation is good. Is it true that if one watches the breath continuously for 24 hours, they will be realized? If so, is it a good practice to sit together on a regular basis and try? So you want liberation together? Realization together or what? Look, practice and see what the benefit. I was told that the cows were cows. Cows. Can anybody help me? Your writing is good, but light is a little less and my eyes.
Guruji, I was told that the cows were named for qualities they lack. At least it appears that way. Is that true?
Cows are named.
Named.
Oh, here.
Yes.
Oh. Thank you for your compliment. In our ashram here, and it is a common practice, those who keep domestic animals, they give names. Even the children, babies, toddlers, they have the name for their toys. They tell, this is this, this is this. So name is given, don't be... Do you know somebody is unhappy with the name that the Guru gave. He was unhappy because the Guru gave him a name. Are you unhappy with the name? Why? I don't like. Then the person asked were you unhappy with the name that your parents gave? He said, yes. So the person is basically unhappy, with the name. And carrying that name whole life till he met the Guru, or Guru gave the name, was unhappy with the name given by the parents. And now the name given by the Guru, again unhappy. So somewhere I read a quote, it is, I think, by Shakespeare, that what's by a name? What's by a name? If you give rose another name, rose will give its aroma and smell. There is no meaning in name. So we have given the names to the cows, for example, Karuna, compassion, Kshama, forgiveness, so that we'll be chanting the name and we'll be developing these qualities in us. For ourselves, not for them. How can we be greater service when facing suffering of those around us? You have to find out. It is not that there is written, this is the greater service. Whenever I find someone suffering, what can I do at that moment? I don't remember the name of this Marathi saint who was carrying Ganga water to Rameswaram. During those days, people are walking. He took Ganga water from Gangotri or Gomukh and walking towards Rameswaram to offer the Ganga water on Lord Shiva. So, then he saw, it was hot summer, he saw a donkey is really suffering and needs maybe some water. So he sat down and started pouring the Ganga water in the mouth of the donkey, and donkey was joyfully drinking. Others are telling, what are you doing? Temple is visible. You carried Ganga water from such long distance and here you are. Then he said, you will go, I'm happy here. And this story goes on. When they entered the temple, they saw he is already pouring water there on Lord Shiva. But he was giving water to donkey. The biggest mistake in human life, that we forget God in all. This is the biggest mistake. It is very easy to say God is omnipresent. But to remember God, in whom we see whoever, to see God in them. So, when you give to others, such as good food, does this create craving and need for them? Why? Why you are worried about it? You gave good food, your duty is done. And the person what developed, if you think craving, it is that person's problem. Do you know, I was reading Vinoba. A beggar was standing near the door. The mother's habit is whoever comes and she gives whatever she could. Vinoba was a young boy. He said, why do you give this man? He looks very strong and stout, and giving alms to this type of people, it's making them lazy. And is it not in the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord spoke that do charity where it is truly needed? Then the mother is telling, I am not here to judge who is worthy or unworthy. Whoever stands and asks, I feel my urge to give. That's all. I do my duty. The rest is... We always want to judge, to think and... What is the difference between soul and spirit? I am from India. I don't know English. I have learned little bit, and talking to you, honestly telling the dictionary meaning, I can't tell all this. What is the difference between soul and spirit? One meaning of spirit is ghost, isn't it? Essentially, soul and spirit is one to me. So, spirit is alcohol. Do you know, I had a chemistry professor. He had little habit, you know. In India, it was not during those days a common habit. He had a habit. Do you know what? In the laboratory, whenever he will go, he will search for There are two types of spirit. One is a denatured spirit, which is not good for health. You know, ethyl alcohol, methyl alcohol, they speak all this. I am not a chemistry. So there is, consumable. So whenever he found that bottle, he takes a little. That is spirit. One meaning of spirit is breath. Sri Gurudev said, when I study once, I keep it in my brain in one petal lotus, and God automatically allowed me to recall it. What is that one petal lotus? You should ask Gurudev. Huh? Why you are asking me? What he wrote? If you think I have not exactly read this quote, it must be there when you are telling. I might have read, I have forgotten. So my memory is not as good as Sri Gurudev. You know? When I was with Gurudev, he used to give talk or discussion, and he always quoted the reference. Bhagavad Gita, this chapter, this verse. The Bible, Matthew, this chapter, this verse. Upanishad, mostly from these three major books. I was thinking, because nobody is taking note, and during those days, this recording was not there too much. And he must be talking like this. That was my youngest thought. I wanted to verify. Whenever he was telling this, I was writing down. And I verified it was all exact. Such fantastic memory. One day, I was with him. It was evening time. There was no power. So it was dark, summertime. So an old lady came and to bow to Sri Gurudev. At that time, it was not too crowded. So she bowed to Gurudev, and then she asked, Gurudev, do you recognize me? Gurudev looked at her. He said, I recognize you. They are meeting maybe after 12 years, only initiation. After that, no meeting. Maybe nearly 12 years after, she is coming to Puri. And she was basically from the border of Odisha and Jharkhand, that area. So, do you really remember me? Do you know what Gurudev said? Did I not initiate you with this mantra? So he says, then she didn't ask anything. Because one who remembers the mantra he gave during initiation, and what to remember the person. And don't test this with me, because I don't have that ability. Do you know what happened? She opened her bag and gave a small container of milk cheese, fresh cheese they make at home. So Gurudev told, open this and bring a spoon. When I opened it, I tell fresh cheese, but it was fresh 2 days back because she has traveled good distance and it is no more fresh. Gurudev took in the spoon a chunk and put in mouth and appreciated, and he was eating, and he told me, you take 1 spoon. And he himself with the spoon and put in my mouth. You can't imagine. My miserable condition, I was worried about Gurudev's health. Okay, so that is Gurudev's 1 petal lotus. That is 1 petal lotus is love for God, I believe. Love for God means love for all, love for... He could have told, keep it, you'll give me at the lunch or dinner time. If I would have told it is spoiled, just in her presence, he took it and joyfully took it, and Gurudev knows. And he's putting in my mouth, and to tell that, how to live with love. It is not just verbal words that I love you, I love you. It is practical example how we should live. How do I cultivate surrender when I have a very strong ego? Oh, you know you have a strong ego. Very good. And now work with your ego. That is surrender. Do you know, if we do not practice surrender with love, with understanding, our ego will be hammered with lots of troubles. Time will come and you will have to surrender. You know, suppose any metal which is not bent easily, and the smith wants to get something out of it, hammers stronger and stronger and stronger, and that will happen. That time you will surrender. So God is our strength. God is our everything. Why this ego? As many times it is a very strange thing. Why this ego? What is nothingness in relation to Om? I don't know from how you are getting. Look, nothingness doesn't mean this is thing. This is thing. This is thing. This is thing. And when there is no thing, okay, so it is nothing. No thing means no name, no form. That is real nothing. It is formlessness. Every word I am talking, it is a thing. Word is also, a sound. And it is finite. So like this paper is finite, and similarly, everything is finite. The voice is finite. So as I told, nothingness is formlessness, infinite, and Om is infinite. Om has no beginning, no end. We chant Om just to imitate that continuation of sound, which we cannot continue, but to imitate that sound, we do this, just to remember and love God. So that is infinite, this is infinite, God is infinite, soul is infinite, this body is finite, mind is finite. When does one act upon the problems versus when to leave things at God's will. When any problem comes, we have to face it. We should do our best. The rest is God's will. Suppose I have sickness, and I will not just tell, okay, God's will. It is mostly tamasic nature. It is not spiritual, really. This is, God has given many ways to get rid of it. Suppose this suffering comes to me, it is a warning that why I got this suffering, how to get rid of it. So I will do all my best, whatever I understand the present situation, the present way of treatment, everything. Then the result is in God's hand. For example, the doctor about whom I told, he himself is a doctor, young, very dynamic. But I don't know how he became diabetic in this young age. And that affected his heart. And then he had multi-system failure. Can you imagine, from Bhubaneswar, they airlifted to Hyderabad for better treatment. The doctor in the air ambulance was a little bit doubtful what will happen. He did it. In the hospital, when they took in, and in the emergency room or whatever you say, it had stopped. And they tried and they revived. And he was reviving. After some time, finished. So you do your best. The rest is in God's hand. That is why in the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord said, Karmanyeva adhikarahate. You have every right to do, but do in the right way, right attitude. Ma phalesu kadachan. The result in, we don't know. Unknown factor. What does it mean when a disciple bows and you do not make eye contact? So, you are bowing to whom? If you bow to a physical body, the eye is physical, eye contact is physical. So a dead body is bound to a dead body, so there will be no eye contact. So you are a dead body because you are not aware of the soul, and you want physical contact, looking at the eye or smiling. So this is dead body bound to dead body. And if you are bowing to anybody, not the Guru, I bow to my father, I bow to my... So when you are bowing to somebody and you are remembering that I am bound to God in him. So God is there. God is always looking inside, outside. Why? What is happening? You did your job of bowing and you expected the result. He should do know what is happening. People, suppose I am walking. Why to stop me and bow? It is not devotion. If you want to bow, you can bow from distance. You can bow 100 times. You can bow, 1 hour bow, no problem. So, can we combine watching the breath with chanting God's names mentally? Is good. Watching the breath is the first step. And breath itself is mantra. Remember, breath itself is mantra. Its name is Ajapa Gayatri. Breath itself is mantra. Because this breath is breath of God, with love for God, if you are watching, beautiful. You can combine, with name of God, with a mantra, with hamsa, and so on. So, why is the energy, in parenthesis, Kundalini Shakti, in the heart chakra, in the root chakra? In the root chakra, how did it get there? You ask the person who has written the book. That's all. Because anybody who has written the book, because from where you get this idea? First the Kundalini Shakti, and it is in the root chakra. You got the idea from somewhere. If you got the idea from the book, ask the book or ask the author of the book from where he got. Let he ask another author of the book, because do you know what is happening? It's all copy. All copy. So from one book to the other book to the other book to the other book, they will tell, this is written in these scriptures. Those who are smart, they will tell, immediately they can tell, we read Guru Gita. In Guru Gita it is said. It is said, what is the sloka? Pindam Kundalini Shakti. Hansam iti. So it is there, so Kundalini. I'm talking of the word Kundalini. So, you know, when I started reading the Bhagavad Gita, I was very curious to know what is what, why this, till I came to Kriya Yoga. When I came to Kriya Yoga, my understanding became really clear. Otherwise, lots of questions. Intellectually, you can analyze. Lots of people, they do very highly intellectual discussion, but the practical discussion. I was listening to a person giving discourse on the Bhagavad Gita. He's a great person, with respect, but he's telling, Sampreksha Nasikagram Som. If you look at your Nasikagra, Nasika means nose, Agra means, what is Agra, those who know Sanskrit? So you'll find in most of the places it is written tip of the nose. Many people, they have translated, they have written tip of the nose. And if you look at the tip of the nose, Nasikagram, Agra means the tip. I'm telling the Agra, Nasagra. Nasagre Varamoktikam. You know the verse? Nasagre Varamoktikam. Anybody who knows? She knows. Karatale Venu Kare Kankanam. This is the prayer to Lord Krishna. So Nasagra means, one meaning is here. So he had diamond nose stud, whatever. So he had. So Nasagra is here. And he's telling, if you look at your, you will get crooked eyes. And that person was discoursing. When I came to Kriya Yoga, I got really, and then I really understood what scriptures are. And this is grace of Gurudev and entire lineage. And this was started by Sri Lahiri Mahasaya. He started this. Can you imagine? Sri Lahiri Mahasaya wrote his commentary on Japji Sahib, in Sikh religion. respectfully, with love and devotion, they chant it daily. Sri Master wrote commentary on it. So, Paramahansa Yoganandaji, Gurudev came to the Bible, Yukteswarji also. It's how to understand the scriptures. Otherwise, if you take literally, it's many times so much confusing and so much. And the same thing with Kundalini. I was for a conference of psychiatrists in Switzerland. From many places they came. So it was a nice conference. I had my talk, and in my talk, after the talk, there was question and answer, and some of the psychiatrists said, meditation is good, but one meditation has created many trouble in people. I said, which meditation? They said, Kundalini. They said, all were Europeans, the psychiatrists. They said, reading about this, people start imagining a lot. And then Kundalini, because meditation is not imagination. Meditation is not speculation. Meditation is not idea. Meditation is not suggestion. I suggest and you imagine. Meditation is not that. Meditation is to go beyond everything. Do you know, Gurudev was in the house of a very prominent person. Both are disciples, but the wife runs here and there to this teacher, that teacher, this thing. So she started crying and complaining that her Kundalini is rising up. And Gurudev was there at their home. And she was complaining, and the husband, what Kundalini you are talking of? I don't understand. How can I help you, your Kundalini? Gurudev asked, what is happening to you? She said that the snake has risen up and it's biting, and it is terrible pain in my. Gurudev said, okay, I'll give you a tablet. Kundalini will sleep, but you have to go to the doctor. And he gave a tablet, and the pain subsided. Gurudev said, it's colitis. Go to the doctor. And she went to the doctor. Doctor, with investigation, they found it is colitis. So people, Kundalini. This is what Kundalini. And too much of all these things, they create a lot of, people hearing voice, people hearing this thing, people feeling this. This is it creates also fear in others that, is it really the path? So please do not read too much. And what is happening? Read the life of great souls, beautiful. Read their teachings, all right. The present New Age books or New Age scriptures, fantastic. But scriptures, again, it should be better on your lineage, because otherwise it will create confusion. It will create doubt. Whatever is from your lineage, you read. And basically the Bible, the Gita, read it. So Sri Gurudev told that where is the root? You told root chakra, I'm telling, Gurudev said the root is here, root is not there. Gurudev said the unmanifested spiritual energy is in the brain, not in the bottom chakra. Even Gurudev, out of humor, sometimes told, if there is snake in the bottom chakra, go to the surgeon who will do surgery and find out Kundalini there, and there is no snake. Gurudev told, very humorously he told. So don't be, So this is not a question, it is a note. Give Guruji my love, thanks and pranams. So Guruji received it. If I am doing multiple pranayamas, would it be better to do 1 plus 2 repeatedly or just number 2? Look, when it is related to any technique, directly talk to the teacher. How much to practice, how long to practice, which one technique to practice more, and so on. Can Guru forgive a disciple for making a big mistake? Do you know, I read this incident somewhere. One day Paramahansa Yoganandaji was new in the West Coast. He was walking through seaside somewhere. He was feeling tired and he went, and it was a farm. So he was feeling a little thirsty, and then that farm, I'm recollecting, that farm owner or the farmer, seeing Yoganandaji with this dress, and first was a little bit reluctant, then Paramahansa Yoganandaji told, do you know, I know what is buggling in your head. He said, you know it? Are you a fortune teller or mind reader? He said, no, but I know it. He said, what? Tell me. He said, you went to the church. Before he told this, he said, you have your son, isn't it? He said, yes. Your son and you, it is not going good relationship. He said, yes. He said, I will give you a solution. He said, what? He said, do you have good, faithful friends? He said, yes. Invite your son one day and make a big fire. And you tell your faithful friends to catch the son and tie his hands. And he shouted and screamed at him. He said, what? That is my son. He said, so what? Your son is not following you. Then he said that you are worried about the hellfire, eternal hellfire. Do you know God, who is more loving than with earthly parents? Can you imagine how much He loves us? And how can God put us in hellfire? He said, is it so? Then he started talking, and the thing is, the mind is in the Jnana Sankalini Tantra, it is said, Manaha karoti papani, Manaha lipyati patakahi, Tanmana vilayam yati, Tadvishna paramapadam. Mind commits mistakes. And then mind creates guilt consciousness also. I did. Then mind creates the difference. I did this, maybe God will be unhappy. God will. And if you go on thinking of the mistake and I did this, it is not the solution. The solution is I will not do it anymore. I'll change my life. That is what Jesus said, go and sin no more. Go and don't repeat the same mistake anymore. You are forgiven. So, to understand also Guru, do you know what is happening? Every day I'm really realizing little of Gurudev. Even today I was writing, because the thought of Gurudev, I was writing that I was so privileged and fortunate to be closer to him and to live with him. That's what I was writing. And till now I can't say I have understood him. But I'm understanding more. Say some interesting things of Lahiri Baba. How to connect with Lahiri Baba while meditating? Do you know, Lahiri Baba even did not want it to be photographed. And even the photograph of Babaji, I'm telling a little story. Don't take it as criticism. You can find lots of pictures of manipulated photograph of Babaji in many different ways. You can search and you'll find it. People talk a lot about Babaji and pictures they show this way, that way, this way. But it is, if you look very carefully, you'll find this is this. One day somebody showed me a photo. I'm telling another incident. The photo of Lord Hanuman. And Hanuman is in the background of the photo. I was told that Lord Hanuman, somebody was going to Manasarovar, Kailas. While going there, he entered into the cave and he took photograph and he collapsed because he had vision of Hanuman and somebody who followed him and found nobody, this dead body and the camera. From that camera, they found photo of Hanuman. Lord Hanuman is reading a book or something. When I looked at that photo, I said, is it so? I have seen this photo somewhere in some book. And that is printed in the book, the Gita Press book, decades and decades ago. And it was going like, this is the real photo of Hanuman, and sitting and reading book and writing some. Till Paramahansa Yoganandaji came to West, there was no picture of Babaji Maharaj at all. Be very clear. All the disciples of Sri Lahiri Mahasaya were keeping the picture, one Om symbol, just to represent Babaji. Okay? Now, you will tell how this picture came. When Paramahansa Yoganandaji had his meeting with Babaji Maharaj, he had seen. So he described, his brother did the sketch, and that sketch little bit developed. And now you can say in most of the books people write on Babaji, and even they say, I have seen Babaji, this photo. So this is an imaginary photo, or the way Yoganandaji saw and described. He didn't sketch it, his brother did it. This is so Lahiri Master didn't want to be photographed. You know this? And people requested him, can we take a photo? Can we take a photo? At last he agreed. And do you know, the photographer came and he was, I think his name was Gangadhar or something. And he was a very prominent photographer in Kashi. So he asked him, what is this machine? What can you do? This, that. So he told everything we can do. And he said, there was no photo of Lahiri Master. What did you learn from this? The first question. The camera is there. Technology is there, but he was not there. He is sitting there. Everybody is seeing that he's sitting there, he is not there. Can modern science describe or analyze it? It cannot. Then he allowed to photograph. The photograph came, and Sometimes he gave photograph to some people. If you have read his teaching, that he said, he gave to one lady, said that, see, if you think that this is a photograph, it's a photograph. If you think it is the protecting shield, it will protect you. And it happened. So thing is, I will tell about photograph. Another incident. Gurudev took me, and in his room, in Miami Ashram, and he showed me the picture of Jesus. He said, look how beautifully Jesus has trimmed his mustache. I said, Baba, it is a painting. It is a drawing. It is because I read this about the nun who did this, who had the vision of Jesus in this. Gurudev becomes really unhappy with me. Who told it is picture? It is he. Now tell me. We see picture or they? I'm telling about another incident. The incident is, I was in Brazil. First time. It is almost closer to 25 years ago. It will be completed next month. I was invited to a school to give a talk. In the school, a little girl, she went back to her mother and told, one Swami has came and he gave talk and he's going to talk. I want to go to listen to the talk. The mother brought her. The mother knew about the lineage. Lineage means Yogananji. And the next day, there was initiation. That girl said, I want to see him. She was a schoolboy, not even teen. And mother brought her. And she told, I'm sitting here, I'm getting initiated. The mother is a dentist. She had to go, but she could not tell anything what is happening. Then the mother told, when she was even younger, when he was going to Yogananda's class, programs, that little girl, they kept the girls in another room where there are picture of gurus, and she saw the pictures. They were not pictures to her. She told that I see them looking at me, I see them smiling at me, and one can tell it is a hallucination. However, how to strengthen guru-disciple relationship? Follow the teachings. Follow the teachings honestly, sincerely. This will bring the... It is not just physically sitting near, staring at. No. Following the teachings and practicing it, it will... Can disciples stop eating before self-realization? What? I don't understand you. I am unfit to understand your question. Can disciples stop eating before self-realization? You must be in a higher stage of realization. Do not every moment to be conscious of who am I is realization. Every moment. Watch your breath. If Gurudev said, if you are aware of this breath now, you are realized now. One breath from the fontanel, one realization, Gurudev said. Another breath in the fontanel, one. You have to continue it. But do your work with breath consciousness, love God, practice it. Thank you all. Let us close our eyes for a moment. With deep love, let us think of God and the masters, and let us pray to God. Oh God, bless me to be more disciplined to be more careful of my emotion, to be watchful of my thoughts, words, and to love you in every breath, and to love all as your presence. Bless me to be your good child and worthy child. I bow to you again and again, O God. Forgive me and guide me. Let us chant Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah. Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah. Sarve Santu Niramayah. Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu. Ma Kaschit Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. I bow to God, I bow to all the divine incarnations, I bow to all the masters of all times and all places. I bow to Sri Lahiri Mahasaya and beloved Gurudev. I bow to all of you and the entire universe. Let there be peace, progress, and prosperity everywhere. Just one. This is a cute book I saw. It is written by young Kriya, and the teenage take on meditation. And she's Kavya. I know her, her mother's mother, and so on. Mother's 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 mother, and so on. Thank you. God bless you all. Okay.